Hey guys, it's time for the next series Lotto reveals. Here are the next 5 anime that you members got to experience. Our first anime was given to Haley Robinson. Mondaichi Tachi ga isekai kara so desu yo. But gosh, is that a mouthful. It's better known as Problem Children. This fantasy show takes a few children born with psychic powers who are quite bored with their own world to a different world, a more interesting one where everything is a game. Here's what Haley had to say about it. I really liked it. I liked the plotline as well as the art style. The characters weren't shallow, which had been an issue with other anime I've watched lately. I really liked how the show incorporated folk tales like The Piper of Hamelin, and it's not something I usually go for because the first episode gave off a feeling like a toned-down version of The Hunger Games, which is a book series I don't really care for, but it turned out to be very different than what I first thought. I'd highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. Since Haley didn't participate in the beginning, this anime was given out by the Officers of Anime Society. And then we have Shinsekai Yori, which was given to Nate Polanski. This mysterious show is labeled as drama, horror, and supernatural, set in a world where people possess the god's power of psychokinesis, all living in a perfect utopia. But all is not as it seems, and their history and world is much darker than what it appears. Here's what Nate has to say about his show. I thought Shinsekai Yori was great to watch. I enjoyed the direction the story went and the people with it. I really enjoyed the story and how mobile it was and how it unfolded. The story pulled at my heartstrings often, and the last episode was such a killer. If I had to say anything negative, some of the characters felt kind of flat, even uninteresting. Oh, and the animation was pretty good. The show felt very thought out and well finished. I'm very glad to have watched it. Shinsekai Yori was given out by yours truly, me, Bridget Tsering. Following the theme of supernatural horror shows is Ghost Hunt, given to Alex Struhar. Like the name suggests, we follow a boy who is a leader of a psychic research company and his newly appointed assistant as they investigate ghost stories and, well, go ghost hunting. Here's what Alex has to say about this show. I liked my anime because it reminds me of ghost hunting shows on television, and I always really liked those. I didn't like the animation, and I thought it was poorly done. It kind of took away from the story. The characters were good and all unique, but some of the dialogue was cheesy, which made it hard to take some parts seriously. Overall, I really liked the plot and characters, but the animation and dialogue made me not enjoy it as much as I would have liked. This show was given out by Charlie Phillips. Thanks, Charlie! Next we have Mononoke, a spin-off of the Ayakashi series. This show was given to Joe Cartwright. Mononoke follows a medicine seller, conveniently named Medicine Seller, as he travels. Along the way, he runs into vengeful spirits wreaking havoc to those around them. Aside from being a medicine seller, he makes it his duty to vanquish them, but he must first learn their truth, form, and regret. Here's what Joe said. The coolest part of the show was its animation style, and it's hard to explain exactly unless you've seen it. I'm not too big on exorcising ghosts, and that's what a majority of the series was about. Which doesn't mean it's a bad show, it just didn't match my personal tastes. I like how each of the characters had a reason why the ghost was around them. I won't spoil it, but it had a reason for being there in each arc. However, besides that, I didn't find the characters themselves memorable. Overall, the show is decent, not my personal tastes, but hey, if you like awesome odd animation and exercising ghosts, this is the show for you. Since Joe didn't participate in the beginning, this anime was given by the Officers of Anime Society. And finally, we have Kyokai no Kanata, given to Thomas Grinnell. This show is set in a world with humans and yomu, which are supernatural creatures, and a lot of interesting events take place as the characters must defeat these evil creatures. Here's what Thomas had to say. It's definitely not something I would normally watch. My first impression was maybe a bit too dark for my tastes. Suicide attempts? Multiple impallations? Perhaps a bit too gory as well. But my final impression was that it was really weird and maybe a little bit sad. Overall thoughts, not my favorite. Some parts were decent and actually funny, but overall it was too dark for my tastes. This show was given out by Ebony White. Thanks, Ebony. this video's done! I don't know how Kat does this. Here's the list of shows we covered today, and if you haven't finished, we need your comments so we can make more videos. Look forward to the next one, and continue having a good summer, everyone. Bye!